Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you are now listening to Rob and Rat's World of Wonder podcast. So sit back, relax, and prepare your ears as they take you on a journey of all things weird and wonderful.
Hello and welcome to the Rob Rat podcast.
Another week of podcasting.
Yeah, hello, I'm Rob.
I'm Rat.
And this is the World of Wonder series where we talk and think about things that are weird and wonderful in the world.
Yes, and this is another new episode of the podcast. I just forgot what I was going to say.
That's all right. Anyway, listen, so on this episode of the podcast, we're speaking to
Stephen Cowboy Kelly,
better known as one of the Hardy Bucks from the west of Ireland, Castletown, County Mayo.
Yeah, Stephen's story is
Hot Mayo.
Hot Mayo.
Mayo for Sam 2020.
Yeah, people who don't know the Hardy Bucks, maybe someone listening over the sea. It's you can find it on Netflix and
YouTube.
Yeah, it's
the
just
older stuff.
Yeah,
is
it's
on
a good
YouTube.
show. We kind of talk about it a bit anyway in the interview later on. But Stephen's story is very interesting. Like, we'll get more into it later, but like, Stephen suffered a bleed in the brain that nearly took his life.
Yeah.
And that inspired him to basically run across Ireland.
Run across the country, yeah.
Yeah, from
cross-country cowboy.
Yeah, cross-country cowboy.
Yeah.
That's it. And just for people, thanks for coming back for another episode. And people can follow us on our Instagram at Rob Rat Podcast, Facebook, Rob and Rat's Wow Podcast, Twitter, Rob and Rat's World of Wonder, and Spotify, SoundCloud, iTunes, Rob Rat Podcast.
So if you want to, obviously you're listening to the podcast, but if you found it by accident somewhere and you want to search for the rest of the episodes and stuff like that, you can go just Rob Rat Podcast on most platforms.
Yeah.
Isn't that right?
Rob, space, Rat, space, podcast. That's it.
That's it. Yeah.
No, but like the Instagram is good because like it gives you the opportunity for kind of keep an eye on upcoming episodes.
Yeah, a bit of interaction as well, because upcoming episodes we're going to be looking for some questions and some stuff from you guys. So.
Like in the last episode, we had listeners' questions in our interview, which is good because it gets you involved in what we're doing. And we're going to go to the news.
Okay, so we're going to go to our news segment now. Here we go.
I love doing that news.
Rob and Rat's Weird and Wonderful News.
So, hello and welcome to the news.
Thank you, Mick, our voiceover artist, for
cheers,
that.
Mick. So just this is like our news, and we try and give you a break from the general kind of doom and gloom of the news that you get from most other places. So some of our news may not actually be new news. It's just news. It's just stuff. It's just
stuff that we find interesting.
Yeah, that you hopefully will too, right? So, Stephen, actually, this first piece of news is actually something that probably you can relate to.
Okay.
Is
it about being very, very handsome?
No, it's not. So this is a survey done and by the underwear maker Tommy John.
Okay.
So it goes to show that a lot of people out there are not changing their underwear every day.
Oh, you've.
So according to new research by undermaker Tommy John, around half the people surveyed, so which is 45% out of 1,000 people in the US, said that they do not change their underwear daily, and a disturbing 13% said that they went on to wear those pairs of underwear or knickers for the entire week.
Oh, that's bad. No,
it is pretty bad. Now, as you probably would imagine, men were found to be the worst for doing this, and the survey of 1,000 Americans showed that males are 2.5 times more likely than women to wear the same pants for 7 days or longer. It's also been shown that
I've gone 2 days.
Have you?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So 46% of participants also admitted to having owned the same pair of underwear for a year or more. And then 38% said that they had a favourite pair of underwear and they have it so long that they can't remember when they bought it.
I have a confession to make, man.
Come on. This is why I thought it'd be related to you, yeah.
No, come here. I change my underwear
regularly.
Daily. But I swear to God, now, my wife will kill me for saying this, probably, but she doesn't.
You wear her underwear.
Hopefully she won't listen to this episode. No. But I have a couple of pairs of underwear that I bought in New York, and that was the first holiday we went on, myself and Sheena, my wife. It was we're together 8 years, so I've had them pairs of underwear for 8 years.
And you still wear them?
Are
they holding up well enough? Are they?
Oh, they are. Yeah,
they must be good quality.
Adidas underwear.
It's a great endorsement for Adidas underwear. There,
the Rob Rat podcast is sponsored by Adidas
underwear.
We are not at all.
No, we're not. Yeah, okay. So that's it though. But like, do you have any Lucky underwear or anything like that? Do you have a favorite pair?
No.
You know the way you always hear people saying, "Oh, Lucky Jocks" or something like that.
No. But I like pairs that are good support
quality.
and that.
What type do you wear? Like briefs, boxers.
I don't wear like wide fronts or anything.
No.
I wear. What's the difference between briefs and boxers? Are they the shorts ones?
I think like,
boxers are the tight fit.
The kind of tighter fit. Yeah,
I wear a tighter fit. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I like that kind of fit as well.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that kind of Y front runs. Y fronts? Do they call it Y fronts because there's a Y in the front?
Yeah. Why?
Why? Why not? Yeah. But like Breaking Bad, you know the guy in that. Have you seen?
Walter White.
Yeah, he wears them all the time. There's actually that film.
The movie's coming out soon. He's not going to be in it, I don't think.
Is he not?
By the look of it, like it's going to be more about Aaron Paul's character Jesse.
Okay. I didn't.
Did you see the teaser trailer?
I didn't because
a couple of weeks back.
What I hate is looking at. I hate knowing anything. I love going into cinema and not knowing a thing about the film.
Yeah.
Like the new Tarantino film, I went to see that. Right?
Any good?
I enjoyed it. Yeah, I did enjoy it, and I wanted to know nothing.
It's like 3 hours long.
It is 3 hours long.
I don't know too much about it at all.
I didn't know anything about it, and I love that. Right?
Yeah.
Another new thing is coming out. The Matrix is coming out. The Matrix 4. I used to love. You do know.
I know the Matrix.
Yeah, well, the Matrix 4.
The Matrix 1 was good. 2 and 3.
I really
not.
liked all of them. I loved it. It was probably one of my favorite trilogies. I
Really? You liked 2 and 3?
Yeah, I really did. I enjoyed it. Yeah,
God.
I thought it went better as it went on.
I need a new Kyo host.
Yeah,
I said Kyo.
Yeah, Kyo. It's like the bag of Kyo's crisps. But yeah, so the Matrix. But something's funny about the Matrix. Well, I don't know if it's funny, but it's interesting, right? So the Wachowski brothers, right, came up and made the Matrix back in like 2000.
It was groundbreaking movie making, like that whole spin around camera.
But the Wachowskis, they're two brothers who made it, right?
Yeah.
And then in like 2004, I think 2004, maybe 2008. Okay, so I don't know the numbers, right, when it happened. But one of the Wachowskis decided to transition into a woman.
Okay.
Right? And now, since then, the other Wachowski brother has also transitioned into a woman. So they're no longer the Wachowski brothers; they're actually the Wachowski sisters.
Okay,
that's actually true. I think they just go by the name the Wachowskis. They don't say sisters. But
all right,
I just happened to find that on Wikipedia when I was looking up the new film.
Very, very interesting. And are they making the new movie?
Yeah, they're making it as well.
That's good.
And the same character, your man Keanu Reeves is back, and then that other girl as well.
I know. Yeah, I really like Keanu Reeves, but I just 2 and 3 I found a bit boring now myself.
Okay,
2 wasn't as bad. Anyway, we've gone off topic.
It's still news, isn't it?
It's news. It is news. I love movie news.
So change your underwear and go see the new Matrix, right?
Okay, my story is my underwear clean.
Yeah.
Back in May, this happened. Gang leader, 42-year-old, excuse my pronunciation if it's wrong, Calvino de Silva.
No, that's perfect.
Is that right? Yeah. Thank you. He tried to escape from prison. He was a drug trafficker in Brazil. The Brazilian drug trafficker, he's serving a 73-year sentence, right? So he tried to escape. He tried to disguise himself as his 19-year-old daughter and switch places with her. Apparently leaving her in prison.
He left his daughter in prison so he can get out.
No, he didn't because, listen, he wore a silicone mask, a wig, a black bra and a tight T-shirt with 3 pink donuts on it. The plan did not work out, though, as prison guards saw through the disguise when De Silva asked for his daughter's ID while attempting to leave. When the guards approached him, he came clean about his disguise. His daughter is now one of 8 people being prosecuted for attempting to aid him in his prison escape. But it's great. You should see the outfit he had on him: silicone mask, black wig. We're actually going to definitely share this one. I have, and actually, there's a video of him removing the silicone mask, and he looks like a mean fella. But like, you should see the outfit.
So basically, the story is he's in prison, right, for drug dealing.
73-year sentence.
73 years.
Yeah.
So he's not getting out, really, right? So
no.
So he gets his daughter to come and visit him, bring in some spare clothes. And
I don't know the circumstances around him changing, but he had a silicone mask, black wig, and the tight T-shirt and all that stuff. And I think he tried to get her ID, and the guards kind of noticing a female acting a bit suspicious and looking quite strange. And then they approached him, and he came clean, and his daughter and a few others.
So she's in trouble now as well.
I think so. I don't know. I think it's ongoing whether what's going to happen. He's been, I think, moved to another facility as well since that happened.
Jesus.
But he's going to be punished for that as well anyway. But check out the Rob Rad Instagram because you have to see. I have a picture. It's kind of I'll show you in a minute.
I'm looking forward to this. Yeah.
The picture of him just him as the girl and then just him unveiling his mask. That was the news.
That was the news, guys.
Rob and Rat's weird and wonderful news.
So that was the news.
That was the news. It was very interesting news. If you have any news that you'd like to share with us, you can drop it into us on any of our social media pages.
Yeah, we're not going to say them again.
No, we're sick of going. You're probably sick of hearing
again
about them.
And again and again. Now we're going to go to our interview with Stephen
Cowboy
Kelly from the Hardy Bucks.
Okay.
And we'll check back.
Okay, guys.
Hello.
So, okay. We're here with Stephen Cowboy Kelly.
That's the one.
Stephen, you're known for the Hardy Bucks. If anybody's never heard of the Hardy Bucks, you've been probably living in a cave or under a rock or something.
That's it.
But for people who don't know, you started out, is this right? You started out on YouTube?
We started out on YouTube. It was actually a college project that just spiraled into the phenomenon that it was. Yeah. Just kept getting bigger and bigger on YouTube, and then there was a competition by RTE. It was called Storyland, and there was some big names got involved with it in the other videos. But the Hardy Bucks just got popular and took off, won that competition, won a right that RTE for a series, and so on, and then it ended up on Netflix.
Yeah, I think the thing about it as well is a lot of people, you know, it's very relatable for people. Do you know what I mean?
It was like holding up to a mirror to society at the time, especially for young fellas.
Oh, exactly. Yeah. Even sure we've a 16-year-old, 15-year-old at home who, you know, really is, you know, loves it. And it just it does for that age bracket as well, especially. It's just something.
And even still, and a lot of the followers that was 10 years ago, they were 16, 17, 18. They're now 26, 27, 28, and they're still following it all the way through, and older, you know.
Yeah. Is it true that there's another series coming up?
We'd like to think so. It's not 100%. I mean, everyone is sort of busy doing their own things at the minute. Obviously, Owen Colligan has gone off, and he's huge at the minute as well. But I know for a fact that if a calling came to reunite and do another series, everyone would be on board.
Yeah, but I suppose I hear the thing I can understand with RT, there's probably a lot of restrictions on what you can do and talk about.
There was, and
more freedom online.
Way more freedom online. Way more freedom with YouTube. The dream would be for Netflix to fund another series. I mean, that would be unbelievable, and there'd be a lot more freedom there.
It's brilliant. Is that Netflix in America? Can you get it everywhere?
Everywhere. It's worldwide. International.
In America?
Yeah.
Class. And you got the movies on Netflix.
The movie was on Netflix for a long time, but when the series went on, it really became popular, and we noticed on our pages as well. They were getting a lot of messages from America now, so it's obviously, you know, it's building up over there again, and I know that they'd love to see another series.
Hopefully, you know, the series does come about sometime.
You certainly put like the west of Ireland on the map.
Oh,
like,
definitely.
I went to live I lived in Belfast and I was living over in near Dublin at one stage as well, and everyone would hear your voice. Oh, west of Ireland, Hardy Bucks, Hardy Bucks. You sound like one of the Hardy Bucks.
There's certain pockets of the country that it's just mad for the show. Still
but
is.
You made it cool to sound like a bogger. You know what I mean? For a while they used to be called, you know, all people from the west, but now you kind of put it a cool spin on it. You know what I mean? People are like.
But as well, the majority of the characters in the show just are likeable. Do you know what I mean? And it's funny.
Oh, 100%. Every one of them brought their own thing to the table. I suppose going back years ago, I was just always so busy working. I would have been so much more involved if I had the time. Yeah. It's only in the last few years that I've really got back into it again, and we've done the live shows and that. Yeah. And I sort of used the Hardy Bucks then for a platform for the run I done for the run. Yeah.
And speaking of the run, for people who don't know, it's a pretty big thing you did. First of all, start with what inspired you to do the run? Well,
the inspiration for me was obviously the bleed to the brain I had 3 years ago in Beaumont. And at the time, I suppose, I was just getting into fitness. And the day that I had the aneurysm, it was probably the fittest I'd ever been in my life. I was just after doing a 10K.
That's right.
Yeah. And I was coming down the stairs, and next thing, just something popped in my brain, and I ended up in Beaumont. This is what I've been told. What happened after that?
Okay.
I was gone.
Was someone with you at the time?
Yeah, I had. Lucky enough, I had two friends with me at the time, and one of them happened to do a first aid course. A couple of weeks previous, and he knew there was something wrong. It wasn't just that I fell down the ambulances rang. And from as unlucky as that was, from there on in, I was very lucky. The ambulance just happened to be 15 minutes away.
And there's no warning signals.
No warning signals.
Just happens.
Only that I was extremely tired. I done the 10K, but I was exceptionally tired, and I'd ran before. Exhausted.
You did a thing leading up of the day it happened.
The day it happened, yeah.
I wonder if that had anything to do with it.
I don't think so. I mean, I had been doing it. It's just one of those things.
It can happen. There's nothing.
It can happen. It can happen to anyone. I know they say that you can get scans done now, and it can say whether you're the likelihood, prone to getting to it.
Right, okay.
But you can't predict something like that.
And what? So then you come around, you wake up and you're in hospital, is it? Like
I wake up. Apparently, I got the ambulance straight to Castlebar, and it wasn't good in Castlebar. The priest read me my last rites in Castlebar.
Jesus.
All my family were.
That is.
My girlfriend at the time, she was away at a family funeral in Cork, and she rushed up to Beaumont by the time she got back up. But I was rushed up to Beaumont. It didn't look good there. The surgeon rang my mother to say, we need permission to operate or to open up.
God.
And she said, my mother said, I'm 50 minutes behind. And he said, 50 minutes is too long. You won't be here in 50 minutes if we don't start now.
Yeah,
so that's how.
It was literally a quick decision. We need to do something.
And I always thought to myself, was that. I asked my mother then, leading up to the run, I said, was that just the dramatic spin put on it? She said, no. She said, it was actually worse than that. She said, even the 15 minutes wasn't even 15 minutes. It was less than that, and there was no hope.
Okay.
There was no hope, but she didn't tell me that. It's only when I questioned it, because you know how stories get embellished.
But in all this time, like you were in Castlebar, you were moved up to. How were you brought to Dublin?
Ambulance, yeah, straight up.
Because even that's like you're in like a bleed in the brain is something that you need to act fast.
Yeah.
How long does it take?
Yeah,
to get to Dublin?
my brain was just swelling up. My
all
head
the
was.
time.
And what's the
was just-
surgery? What did they do? What happened?
They just literally all I remember is I woke up and I had 54 steel staples stuck in my head.
Right.
They obviously just
54
steel staples
wow,
all made. In fact, it was only the other day I think I've discovered one that's still there.
Still there, is it?
Yeah, because every so often I get, especially when I'm cold, I get a little.
Oh yeah, you'd feel
little,
it.
a
Would
local,
that not go off
a
now
local.
in an airport?
I was often.
Yeah.
thought that.
Everyone always says that.
Have you been to the airport since?
Oh, many a time,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah,
I'm just
yeah.
actually, I was doing 2 shows with Owen Colleague in Boston and New York a couple of weeks ago, so it was great to get back out to America.
Yeah.
But no, I've been in an airplane many a time. But it would be literally like a staple. So
Yeah.
I'm presuming that.
So they just literally kind of opened the skull and just go in.
Yeah,
Jesus,
just drained out whatever.
And how long did it take you to come to after that? Like, was it
That was Saturday night, Sunday morning, and I came to Monday evening. Now my family was told I mightn't come to for 2 or 3 weeks.
Okay.
So I was exceptionally fast coming around, and I was so fast coming around actually that they put me back into an induced coma. You know,
really?
they
To
couldn't.
kind of give yourself a chance
that
to
I shouldn't have been.
relax.
But at the time, I was so busy in life that I'm this. I've so many things I'd be
Would
happening all the
your
time.
fitness probably would have stood to you.
Oh,
a bit.
definitely.
Definitely,
Yeah,
like, yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
I was told that by the surgeon, Dr. Rawlock, an absolute genius. I think he's Scottish lad. That your fitness was seeing you through.
Yeah.
At that time. And the thing is, I didn't start getting fit until I was about 4 or 5 years previously,
Right.
where I'd had heart failure.
Oh, really?
I was in ICU in Castlebar for
Jeez, you've
9 days.
You've had a rough old
yeah.
Yeah. And that just triggered you to say, I'm going to start now, get fit and start going. And
start
it's
getting
running
fit.
you do, is it?
Running, yeah.
Yeah.
Running.
And did you know, because I was always thinking about getting into running, but when I go, I hate it, right? But
I love it.
But did you love it at the start, or did you get to love it?
That's a good question. I loved the first kilometre at the start.
Yeah.
And after that, then I was so unfit that I'd get pains in my chest.
Yeah.
And then
But that goes, does it? Because that's
of
what I
course
get
it
when I
does.
start running.
And then
like,
then you
heck
get
this,
you
like-
get to 1,500 metres, and it's literally like that. Anyone that thinks they can go out and run a 10k off the bat is mistaken. You have to build up to that.
Yeah.
You know, you have to go to 1 to 2 to 5 to 10, and then so on and so forth.
Right. And how long was it like before you could get out and start running again after this operation? Like after this, it must have been a while. Like
It was definitely, well, I'd 7 or 8 days in Beaumont, and then I was shipped back to Castlebar, and I had probably another week in there, and I was back in work in 3 months, even though they said I'd been given a 15-month clearance.
Okay.
Yeah, again, I was back
just
exceptionally
go back to
fast.
Steve, right? So when your memory of it, right, from when you collapsed, what was your next? Was your next memory waking up in Castlebar, waking up in
my next memory is Beaumont after the surgery, like a day and a half after the surgery.
before the induced coma?
Before the
You
injury,
actually have memory of waking up?
but I wake up
Yeah.
and there's like everyone that was important to me. Well, most people that were
there.
important to me was in the room.
Yeah. Jeez, that must have been frightening itself.
I was
You
like,
just were
what's
thinking,
going on
what's
here?
happening?
Yeah.
Yeah.
In my brain, I was still thinking I was in Claremorris in bed. It was Sunday morning. I had to get up, and I had to get up early.
Because you were lying down waking up.
Yeah.
Okay,
But the thing is, I had my daughter to bring to Mass.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, I'm going to be late for collecting Saoirse and bringing her to Mass.
Yeah.
And it was actually the first thing I wrote on a notepad. I couldn't speak because there were so many chews in my mouth.
Yeah.
And I wrote...
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
Everyone was thinking, Jesus, don't worry about that. That's fine.
I was like, did Saoirse get to Mass? That's the first thing I wrote. And the second thing I wrote was, I'm so thirsty.
Yeah.
And because you get mad thirsty.
Just dry
You're
mouth.
obviously
You
on a
probably
drip,
no
though,
fluids
yeah.
or anything at the time.
No
I suppose,
fluids,
yeah.
yeah.
No food, no fluids.
And
nothing,
they couldn't, they had to put ice into my mouth. But that was no good.
And your recovery was good, as you said. You were back to work in 3 months.
3 months, yeah.
But what this led to then, that inspired you to want to give back to the hospital. For people who don't know.
Yeah, I credit Beaumont with saving my life. And the day I left Beaumont, I was wheeled out, and I turned around to the people that were there, and I said, when I get better, I'm going to run from Beaumont to Mayo.
Yeah.
To pay you back and raise funds for this hospital. And they probably thought I was very high on painkillers.
Yeah.
You're still feeling the effects of the morphine.
That's the morphine. You're fine.
Yeah, but I always said I'd do it. And about 2 years later, actually, a good friend of your own, Brian. I was with Brian Cowboy.
Brian, yeah. Sound man, Brian.
Oh, sorry. Are we recording?
We're recording now. Brian is a very sound man, yeah. I know, Brian Cawley's sound man, yeah.
We were out on a night out, and I woke up the next day, and I thought to myself, do you know what? I'm going to do that run.
Yeah.
Yeah. Blame Brian. Blame the gin that Brian was feeding us.
Yeah.
But I said, if I don't contact Beaumont this very minute, it'll go again.
Yeah.
And I contacted them, and the rest is history.
Yeah. And we're going to get into it, but we actually recently did an episode, right, where we were talking about afterlife and people who had near-death experiences, right? Sometimes people, when they have near-death experiences...
I've seen that, all right.
Yeah, they have things, they see things, or... even when you're in the coma, can you remember anything? Can you hear voices?
Or was it
They always say you should talk to people when you're in a coma.
Literally blank.
Yeah.
Now, it is very, very sketchy about certain memories I have around that time, but I do believe I was awake for them. Or it was after the coma. I remember like messages coming through for different people from people that it was just weird. Like at the time it was the 1916 commemorations, and I remember getting messages through from Michael Collins. That was how weird it was.
Really?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah, and like who he was telling me who killed him. That sort of thing. He knew who killed him.
Who was it?
Brian
all I kept hearing was his address. It was like 45 Fairymount Lane.
Yeah. And this was obviously really intense dreams you were having.
Really intense dreams. And then messages for, I suppose, actually the religious people in my life. Some people that, like my grandmother especially, she'd be mad religious, and there was messages coming through to her saying that your prayers are not gone in vain, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And then there was another lady I knew briefly, and I had a message for her, even though she wasn't family or anything. It was just very strange.
Yeah.
Very strange.
Yeah. And are you religious yourself?
No.
You be? No.
No. I wouldn't throw away a mask card, as I often say. On
Yeah.
stage.
That's just
But I wouldn't be the most religious of men.
Okay.
And like the run was, you raised to date now it's 10,574. That's what you raised.
No,
so far.
that's what we raised online.
Online.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we raised another nearly 6,000.
Jesus, fair play. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
close to 16,000.
And this all given to Beaumont. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's brilliant.
16,000. That's
Yeah.
brilliant.
It was split.
Oh, that was the online donation.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was split between. It was split between two wards: the children's ward, because I have children, and the ward that actually saved me.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
that's really good.
yeah.
Now, when talking about the run itself, so Dublin to Mayo, like that is unreal. Like
It's a long drive, don't mind it.
It's a long drive.
And we had to take the old roads.
There was yourself, the old roads. There was yourself, yeah, obviously on the motorway.
Yeah, we weren't allowed on the motorway.
Peter Cassidy, who played French Toast.
Peter Cassidy, yeah.
And I believe Sam was there.
Mikey, in fairness to him,
Yeah.
he ran, I'd say, a full marathon in all.
Yeah.
Yeah, he ran
Yeah.
over 30k on the last day, and he'd definitely done 12:14 on the.
And what is the distance? What did you run? What's the whole?
2:10 is what we wanted to do. 2:40.
Yeah.
But by the time we got to Swinford,
you came to Swinford, and finished it.
We needed to finish it on a high. If we had dragged it out until Castlebar, everyone. Yeah.
And ye lads, like, you're fit and you run anyway, right? But do the other two like as?
Pete runs, or maybe not just running, but he's in jiu-jitsu. He's a swimmer.
I know. I saw he got his blue belt there recently.
Yes, he did. He did.
Yeah.
And he's trying to get me involved in it as
well. I do jiu-jitsu. I've been doing it for a while as well. I met him in Ballina one night at a seminar over there. Like he's
Pete's he's a tough cookie.
Yeah, he's a hardy buck.
Yeah, he's a hardy buck. Yeah, but he's actually teaching me to swim at the minute as well.
Really?
He's a surf instructor and lifeguard too. So.
Oh really? Yeah. Geez. Yeah. Okay. So
Jack of all trades.
Jack of all trades. Yeah.
Like. When you started out on the run, like how was were feeling high? Were you feeling good and pumped?
Did you leave from the door of Beaumont? Is that where you went?
We left from the gates of Beaumont.
Yeah.
And
right.
it's a funny story because we were meant to go up like way early on the Thursday. We wanted to get up and relax. In fairness, one of the hotels near the airport put us up. Beautiful hotel. Do you know what? I forget the name of it, unfortunately, but it was a beautiful hotel. But we kept getting delayed. We didn't get up there until about 1 o'clock in the morning, and we were meant to be running 2 marathons the next day.
Oh God!
Yeah. So I was like, everyone didn't know what was going on.
What time did you get up at for
like,
the run?
What the hell? We got up at 6 o'clock because we were to meet.
You still got up early.
A photographer from the Irish Independent.
Oh, okay.
That was going to take a couple of pictures with us, so I wanted to be there early for that. I didn't sleep like all night. 1 hour, I think we got.
Yeah, you know what that is as well, though. It's the adrenaline. You're just thinking about. You have so much things going on in your mind.
Yeah.
That's tough.
But it's funny. We had done the marathon distances many times, but we were bouncing with so much adrenaline and energy coming out of Beaumont and coming out of Dublin, going up by Finglas that. It literally we were bouncing.
It feeds you. It kind of does. Yeah.
How many days did it take you?
3 days.
3 days.
The first day was probably the longest we done. We done 90k on the first day.
And how many hours of running is that like?
We left at 7 in the morning. Me and Pete got into the hotel in Mullingar about 10:30 at night.
And there was no point where you got in a car and thought,
no,
absolutely not. It was
absolutely
all running.
not. Absolutely walking, running, jogging.
Like that's unreal. Like.
There was other runners with us. Dual to Rotneen was there. Fair play to him. He just turned up on the day, and he finished it with us as well. He came down to Mayo. He's a Mayo man.
Yeah.
He drove down to Mayo and finished the run with us as well.
Yeah.
He ran 60k with us that particular day, and then there was another lad called Fergus Keegan, and he ran a full marathon with us that day. And then my uncle, actually, Martin O'Hagan, who would have been. Who is the fittest of all of us, but Martin wouldn't have been into the long distances. Like he was a 10k or like maybe 15k.
Yeah.
And he never went beyond that much. And I kept telling him as we were training, I said, you need to respect the distance. You have to slow down. He was just a rabbit.
Yeah.
He was out. He was gone like a shot. And he was running before we were ever running, and he just didn't. He got to 67k and that was it.
Yeah.
He was just gone.
Done. Yeah.
Gone for the day. But no, me and Pete, we not once did we step into a car only like to eat or to get bandaged.
And what did you eat like? Because you're like
the funny thing is,
energy foods.
we done 5 marathons in 3 days. We were probably the only people that ever done a marathon and probably put on weight on the way down.
Yeah. I say everyone wanted to feed you as well.
Everyone was
there.
I had a first cousin, Elisa Moore, who, to her credit, was only meant to do 20k with us. She was only meant to bring us out as far as she was only meant to come with us as far as Dunboyne, because the media crew that was with us obviously needed to be given a lift, and we had a camper van waiting for them in Dunboyne, but we needed a lift out from Dublin out to Dunboyne, but by the time we got to Dunboyne, and our organisational skills were so good that I said, just any chance you could stay with us? And she did, and she was brilliant. She fed us she kept driving alongside with water and Lucozade Sport.
Because you obviously needed a lot of that. Do you know what I mean? Fuel for what you were doing.
Yeah, we probably did. I up to that, I when I'm running, I don't eat. I don't eat or I don't drink, and I quickly discovered that you can't go them distances without doing it.
Oh, you have to.
Definitely. We actually, as part of our training for it, we went down to Shane Finn, if you've ever heard of him, in Kerry.
No.
He's an ultra runner. He ran 24 marathons in 24 days, maybe 2 years ago in Ireland.
Yeah.
And at the time we were doing the run from Dublin to Mayo, he was running across running and cycling from the Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco to the Brooklyn Bridge in New York.
Jesus.
Yeah,
That's
all the way
across America.
All the way across America, and not only that, but from south to north in a diagonal.
Jesus.
Well, if I'm on the show next week.
Actually, a man that you need to get, a good friend of ours. We were down there. We spent 3 days with him down in his family's home in Dingle, and we went out running with him. Now that man can do 60k on a cup of coffee, but he's conditioned himself to be like that. It's his life.
It's a lot of time.
It's his life.
That's so I suppose you won't mind me saying this, Stephen, but like because you've already broken it already. But there's plans for the future. Like you're not finished with the run.
Yeah, no, not at all. That was only we learned so much from that, and there was such a friendship that we built up with everyone that was there. Like I said, my first cousin Elisa was brilliant. The Takes Two Media lads.
But even the buzz,
the buzz of it.
Do you know what I mean? You created something.
Even the focus on it, the months leading up to it.
It's all a hype.
It's all a hype.
Build,
and a lot of people actually thought it was a gimmick.
That
they
you wouldn't do it.
That we wouldn't do it. That this was only a fundraising thing that we weren't actually going to do
it.
Yeah. But no, we were going doing it, and we plan on doing something next year, but bigger. I had planned on keeping it secret, although it's probably the worst kept secret in the country. I done a podcast with my good friend Martin Maloney there last week.
Who played Eddie Durkin in the
he just dragged it out of me on the spot. So we plan on doing the Wild Atlantic Way.
Okay.
All the way from, I think it's like on the border between Derry and Donegal, all the way down as far as the border of Cork and Waterford. So it's the longest undefined. It's the longest defined coastline route in the world, or one of them.
How long is that? What's the distance?
It's 2,600 kilometres.
You'd
never think you could get that distance in this country.
2,600 kilometres?
No, running.
You're running again?
Oh, yeah, running, yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
I wouldn't cycle. No. We're going to take 40 days. We're going to take 40 days.
So it's still 40 days.
It's 60. It works out at 60k a day. Now, it doesn't matter if we do it in a snail's pace.
But you'll have to take breaks on days.
We don't know. We're going to plan it out. We might do 6 days and take the 7th day off.
For pints.
Yeah. But do you know what? That was the beauty of the run last year, because we'd be off and men for the pints.
Yeah.
And it was great to have something to focus on to keep away from that.
Yeah. Exactly.
I'm not saying we stayed dry all the time, but it definitely.
As you're working towards it.
But as well, you know what?
There must have been some pints when you arrived back. Or was it bed?
No, actually, we had a few pints, but we were so happy with the achievement that we'd done, and the fact that, especially myself and Pete, that we'd never once taken a lift. We never once, it was. It was such an achievement that we had a couple of pints and we just went to bed. But the weeks after that, then it was just so easy we were doing shows and we were going here and there, and it was so easy. I could feel myself slipping back over the last few months back into the weekend drinking thing and the gigs. And it'd be so easy to get stuck in that. So
it is,
But you know what as well, like the less often you do, I find anyway now, the older you get, the less often you do it, the more you enjoy it as well. Do you know what I mean?
Probably, yeah. Probably.
So,
I could do it, but when I'm in a social situation, I just love having the crack. And the temptation is just. It's just when you're.
I was waiting for you to offer us something. I'd heard the story.
There's a bar here behind you. Yeah. Did you get lucky with the weather when you were going?
Oh, the weather. It was one of the best days of the first day we went was one of the best days of the year. It just was the very first day.
That's one thing I remember from watching you on
Easter time this year was incredible.
And that's one thing I just want to just say to people listening to the podcast, that like for the run you do next year, people can go onto your Facebook page, which is 3 bucks left.
3 bucks left.
The number 3 bucks left. On Facebook and Instagram. And you can kind of, there's funny videos there, but you can keep wind of what's going on.
Absolutely.
And when it'll be coming up.
When obviously the closer it gets to the run, it'll be more run based, obviously. Just like last year.
I know it's a while away, but people
just like
can
last year, we'll keep checking in.
And it was good because we watched just a good bit of the live videos throughout it. It's good to watch to see how you're getting on.
It was an unbelievable buzz, and all credit to our hometown Swinford. When we got to Swinford, it was incredible. The people out on the bridge, on the Charlestown Bridge, all the way in,
just to
all the way in. We could not believe it. It was an unbelievable feeling.
And did you meet? You know, when you're going through the other towns on the way, were the people coming out, and did people know what was happening? Were they?
They did, and the more we came west, the friendlier people were
I
getting.
think that's the way it is, though. Anyway, isn't it?
and I love Dublin.
The weather gets a bit worse,
I
but the
love
people
Dublin.
get better. Yeah.
Absolutely love Dublin, but
I don't condone that comment.
going. It was a couple of times coming through Meath that we nearly got beeped off the road.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But as soon then as we started to come from Mullingar down, Mullingar was a brilliant town, and we got a great reception in Mullingar, even when we do shows in it for some reason.
Yeah.
From Mullingar down, we were just getting more and more of a buzz going, and then it was picking up, and we were.
They probably knew you were from Mayo. Did you have the Mayo jersey on?
Well, actually, Pete did on the last day, and I would have had it on the odd time.
Yeah. But
we're going to do it for Beaumont again this year. Plus, Pete has a charity in mind to split the charities.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Up.
There's no harm, I think, either. You know what I mean?
Of course not.
Like.
Yeah. Actually, I must talk to you after this to see how does that work. I've been told it's tricky to do it for a couple of different charities.
I'll let you know afterwards.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
He's talking about, because in case he thinks we're some people that like filter money off into places like that. We
I have an offshore account.
No, we did our own charity thing where we hugged for 30 hours.
For our listeners who don't know about this,
we've never mentioned it.
Oh,
So
did you not?
We've never mentioned
Oh
it.
my God.
We've actually never talked about
Oh my God, that
this
should have been
on
the first thing you
podcast.
mentioned.
Yeah, so we
I tried to blank it. I blanked it out.
therapy. Yeah.
But that was a Guinness. That was a Guinness.
We set a Guinness World Record. We hugged
Yeah.
each other in the centre.
I should be doing a podcast with you in
for
it.
30 hours and 1 minute. We hugged each other. Myself, Stephen, and Nicky and Brian.
Brian Coley, yeah. 4 lads from West we did a hug for, and it was a week. Was it a week? It was a weekend after years, I think.
Was it? Yeah, it was.
It was 1 week.
It was.
After you did the 1 week.
Yeah. We called it and see just as you started. We tried to come back to you, but I think we were doing a show, and that's an example of the pints kicked in.
Yeah.
Well, sure.
But you know what?
You got hit by a car. Do you remember that?
Oh, you
I got hit by a car that day.
This was when we were doing our hug for charity, which was on Market Square in the west of Ireland in Castlebar. Stephen and Peter Cassidy came to visit us, and Stephen got hit by a car.
That's right. Yeah, well, I was literally, and the lady that was driving it. I shouldn't really said lady there. The person that was driving it.
The bitch.
In fairness, my mother apologised.
Pete lost it with her, but she hit me that hard like I broke her light.
Yeah, you were saying that.
Yeah. But I didn't think nothing of it. But everyone around was like, "You okay? Are you okay?" But it was just she. I think she had been having an argument with someone in the passenger seat, and she'd lost.
She just stuck it in reverse.
Yeah,
did
she stuck it in reverse, but I mean, she was full bore reverse.
So you were walking through a car park, and she just reversed out.
Yeah.
And you had your wallet in your back pocket, and that's
my wallet. You've a good red memory.
I remember, wallet full of money. That's what cushioned you.
Oh, that cushion there.
Yeah.
She said, if you didn't have such a bony arse, you would have broke the light.
No, that's true. Yeah, and fair play to you for doing that as well.
And you went down that night. Then you went down doing a show. What's the crack? So when you go down to the shows, like they're stand-up comedy shows. That's the.
I think that.
Do you do sketches on it, or what do you do?
Supporting Owen Colligan. We do. It's like really wild comedy.
Yeah.
It's like we might go up and we might do 10 or 15 minutes each of storytelling, or just stand up, and then we might talk a bit about the Hardy Bucks, and then we might just do something completely wild.
I saw it's a brilliant picture, and it's French toast. It's Peter Throne. He's standing there in his jocks on the stage.
Yeah.
It looks like the maddest night ever.
It was crazy, but Pete can do that with absolutely no alcohol, no drink. He ripped the jeans off himself. He's done that twice now on stage. He ripped the jeans off himself and throws
them into the crowd. The brilliant photograph.
Yeah, it is. If
you go onto the 3 Bucks Live, 3 Bucks Left Facebook or Instagram, you'll see the picture.
The jeans was just caught
mid-air. It's brilliant. It's a fantastic. And he's just standing there like in all his glory. It's brilliant.
Not a bother.
Not a bother.
I think he had Superman pants on.
And for all your shows as well, they're on the 3 Bucks.
Oh, on 3 Bucks. 3 Bucks Left. Yeah.
And so you're doing a good bit of comedy. Do you go bit like?
Yeah, we love it. Since the time we done Vicar Street, so for anyone that's not Irish, Vicar Street would be one of the most prestigious theatres in Dublin, in the country. And we, as a Hardy Bucks collective, we started up there, and I was on stage, and I was just like, this is where I want to be. I just loved it so much, the buzz of it.
The buzz, yeah.
And
it takes some balls to go up on stage as well, like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I find
in
it,
a sense,
it gets easier and easier.
Like,
I found comfortable because remember I'm surrounded by by friends, and I have this attitude.
That does, I'd say, make it a lot
Oh,
easier.
it makes it a
Going up
lot
as a
easier.
group, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And one of them being in their jocks. It's more
Yeah.
comfortable.
But
But what they say, when you get nervous, picture people naked, isn't that
That's
the thing?
right, that's right.
Friends always helps you out there straight away. Like,
we emceed actually for fitguru.ie down in Cork there a couple of weeks ago, myself and Pete, and in the Everyman Theatre, which is another actually
it's a great place.
brilliant theatre.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what we told one of the talkers that was
was
speaking. She was nervous going on, and I just said, just pretend they're all naked.
Just pretend the French shorts in his jocks. Yeah.
Well, actually, Pete brought it to another level, and he said, just pretend they're all on the loo. So, but that's another level.
And you said you're over in Boston there as well.
I was over in Boston. We take turns, myself and Pete and Mikey, and sometimes we've done it all together in supporting Owen Colligan, which is one of the Hardy Bucks as well, and dear friend. And
Owen will be gigging over in.
He was gigging over in Boston and
is it
New York.
mainly an Irish crowd that comes, or do you get? Is there like?
I think actually over in Boston it was like 75% Irish mixed with a few, because Netflix is a big draw.
Absolutely, yeah.
If you can say you're on Netflix, well then people's ears ping.
Because I've always, even when you watch the show on Netflix and you the Hardy Bucks, it's nearly like, maybe I'm wrong, but I often think of it. Do you ever see the Trailer Park Boys?
Do you know what? I've never watched an episode, but everyone says it's like an
I've
Irish
never
version.
watched it either.
It's a similar kind of like comedy. If you watch it, you'll get what I mean.
Yeah.
I think. It's the way it's shot and the way it's done, and it's
the
just.
Hardy Bucks is kind of like a mockumentary style.
Yeah, a mockumentary.
That's the way it's done as well.
It started off proper mockumentary.
Yeah.
I mean, you could see the sound boom coming down. I mean, but that was done on purpose.
Do you know, like just the original internet episodes? Are they different from the ones on RTE? Do you know what I mean?
They are a lot because
obviously
you know, some of the RTE, and I hate to be bashing RTE. There was so much comedy gold
that had to be
done on that. We spent days, and remember one particular scene. It was all day and all night. Kevin McGahern was there, and he was playing SIM card. And Kevin McGahern went on to Republic of Telly, and so on. So we spent all day down in this particular bar. I was laid out on a pool table. Kevin was particularly funny that day. It probably that's probably took all day because people he come up with something different every time. And someone would start sniggering. But we got a couple of golden shots. And they never showed one bit of it.
Because I suppose with your YouTube, you get the final say what was on it. Whereas that goes into an editing room and you don't get the final say.
It was Chris Dordoff who plays the Viper, edited it
for the YouTube.
Right,
yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And he's when it comes to that sort of thing, he was a genius.
With regards to Viper, I know he'd be one of the most popular of the lads. Does he want to get involved in it again? Or
I'm sure he would, but he's so busy. Like he does writing, and I'm sure he does editing for other people and promotions and that sort of thing. He's a busy man. And Chris himself, I'd say, wouldn't have been the wildest.
Is he from Swinford?
He's from born in Leeds.
Okay,
right.
And he came over.
He came over with, I'd say, not long after Martin, who played Eddie.
Okay,
and it was just a concoction of like-minded.
But were you all friends anyway before you started doing this?
We all would have knew each other. Yeah. Martin used to be on about this sort of thing like years ago when we'd be scheming off school, and he's mentioned it a few times in his own podcast. And we'd go scheming off school, and he'd always come up with these harebrained plans and ideas.
Because you have to be slightly mad.
Yeah,
you have to be very outgoing. And not being mean, but nearly like attention seeking, because you have to want it. You have to want it. You know what I mean? You have to
absolutely. And no better man than Martin. He was gifted, and he loved attention, and he loved creating a vibe or a buzz.
Because we were saying it beforehand, but not a lot of people would know that he's English.
Because his accent is perfect. No, I know the Viper has his own style of accent.
But his is brilliant.
I can't believe, because I know Martin used to come in. I worked in the cinema in Castlebar for years, and Martin used to come in. But I remember when I saw it first, I was thinking, that's your man from the Hardy Bucks. And then he come up and he was like, all right, can I get a large popcorn, please?
That'll be it.
I was just like, I thought, is he pulling the piss or what? You know, I didn't genuinely.
But
you know,
He doesn't want to be recognised.
if you ask Martin to do a South African accent, he'd do it just as good. Or Australian. He's just, that's how talented he is.
that's what he should do if you do another season. Just have him be South
Yeah,
African.
he actually, if you check him out on Instagram or Facebook, he's on Facebook. He's Eddie Durkin, and on Instagram he's just Martin Maloney. But he done like a piss take of accents there the other day. So he's very good, and he's big into music as well, and he's a very good guitarist.
Yeah.
So
That's the joy, I suppose, now about the likes of Facebook and Instagram. Like, we were talking about the restrictions with RT that you did have and them cutting things out and not having to say.
Yeah.
That is the beauty of now. Like, even your own is doing his own videos and things like that.
Yeah.
In fact, you get the final say. And
you
can
get the
put up
final say.
everything.
Yeah, unless
Do you know what I mean?
there's a line, obviously. Well,
There's a line.
We
in
wouldn't
what
like
you
to.
will put up
We
with.
try not to cross any lines anyway.
But you go very close to them. You dance on the line.
But
That's the joy
Yeah.
of nowadays,
Yeah.
though. The fact that you can.
yeah.
There's loads of people creating content now.
A lot more, and there's so many great Irish comedians and talents and everything music and that. So it's great to see. It's great to see them coming out
Yeah. And podcasts.
and podcasts. Yeah,
Well, even the whole thing
podcasts.
shows you can just like here now. You don't years ago you would have had to get on a radio station or something to do this, but now you can just get a laptop. And
But it's like us, honestly. Like, but you remember, like we used to do local radio, and it was great crack. I got kicked off. The show.
you did. Yeah,
I got kicked off the show because I was too wild. No, I was younger then.
Yeah.
But I'd say anything to
there was
like.
a few racist, not racist. Sorry, but
No, yeah, we're gonna have to go. No, there was a few just comments that I just.
What'd be racist a few years ago, or not racist a few years ago, is suddenly turned. You know, there's a fine line between that as well. I'm like, we'd be the least racist people in the world, or we'd be the least.
I know. I think it's just.
But there is. It's got everything is a bit more
people
PC,
are
isn't it?
Way too PC.
But it's like
people just complain. It's a very complaining society now, and I suppose what you're saying is if you put something on YouTube, comments underneath. Now everyone has an opinion and it matters.
Yeah,
Where it used to be a critic could write something about it. Now anybody can say, "I don't like that. I feel offended by that." It's very much.
It's a blessing and a curse, no. Like this whole, but like the way things are. But even smartphones in general, like people, but like we're getting onto a whole other thing now. But people are glued to it. Do you know what I mean?
I know well they are. Way too much, and I'd be guilty of that myself. Pete's always on to me. Will you just put the phone down, man?
Yeah,
And
but
he said,
we all do.
I'm surprised you don't bring it swimming with you.
Do you know we were at a wedding a couple of weeks ago, right? And
not me and you.
Not me and you. Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thanks very much. We're not meant to break that yet. Yeah. No. I was at a wedding a couple of weeks ago in Galway, and we left the house, went to the wedding, and I'd forgotten my phone. I was like, feck it, it's back in the house. So for the whole night, the whole wedding, I didn't have my phone. But it was great. At times I was annoyed by it. I was like, everyone was on their phone. But it was kind of a relief. You know what I mean? I was way more interacting with people.
Totally.
Not that I'd spent the night at a normal wedding.
The funny thing is, I run with my phone. Because I have
your
to track. It's my
and
tool.
he wonders
It's my
why
strap.
he gets hit by cars and cars.
I run with it. So even when I'm running, I have it in my hand.
Do you listen to music when you run?
No.
Or a podcast?
No,
you
I don't.
Because I have often people that I've tried when I was running before, used to listen to music, but I do find then you start to run to the speed of the music, and if you've got like hard house music on, you're killed out in 2 minutes. Like
I prefer, if you're out for a run or a walk, though, I think it's nicer to just
maybe for a walk I would, but when I'm running, I like to just completely get lost in my own thoughts. Now, for the first 2 or 3K, you won't do that, but the more miles you go up, and you're hitting into the double digits, you start to focus on your mind a lot more, and it's great. It's great even for your mental health.
Yeah. So you actually, when you came back and you finished your run, you to raise a bit more money, you went and shaved your heads, didn't you?
That's right.
Yeah, and your beard. I remember that.
I had a big beard. I had a beard. Yeah, I had a beard for that.
Suited you.
Yeah, everyone said it.
Yeah.
Bar my grandmother.
So I remember there was a poll up because you were just about to get it done. It was, will I keep the beard or not keep the beard? And it eventually went, didn't it?
Yeah, it went. I shaved the head and
Bald in a beard would have been good.
I did. I done that.
I was watching it when you did it. Yeah.
I looked like a Viking. We did. We went in and shaved. Well, Pete didn't have a lot of hair to shave now, but
he waxed his legs.
Yeah.
You know, it's so funny. Everyone that does have beard and you shave it, you never just shave the whole lot. You always shave, leave it hash. You always shave, leave it snake. You want to see what all the different things.
I did.
Everyone does it. No one just shaves the beard. You have to.
When I woke up, when I came to from the aneurysm, actually, I hadn't shaved in weeks in the hospital.
God, that's literally like one of them scenes in the movies, you know. It's like, you know.
And when I came home and after I got strong enough to go for a shave, I was like, we tried all the different mustache, the goatee, even the Hitler mustache.
I was just going to do the old Hitler.
So Yeah, I'd love to do a time lapse of here.
Yeah. Very cool. But
basically you're gonna. The next thing is the plan, and you're gonna be looking to do 40 days of running.
I know
year.
that might sound crazy.
Yeah.
no, it is crazy.
Man, because like that's how many marathons? That's 2 a day, is it?
It's a marathon and a half. It's less than a marathon and a half. It's about a marathon and a half for some of the days, and then we won't do obviously a marathon and a half every day. Some days we might do more, even if we can walk it. It doesn't matter as long as
I
you keep
suppose
going.
the days you do more will just make it shorter.
Yeah, exactly.
Inevitably.
Because
Exactly.
your man
Exactly.
Eddie Izzard, didn't he? What's he like?
That's right. I think he done 50 marathons in 50 days.
Eddie Izzard.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
he
comedian,
did. You'd
yeah.
never think it. And I never would have thought
he
that
wasn't
himself.
someone that was in shape.
In no
years
way.
ago.
I was listening to Joe Rogan's podcast, and he had him on it, and he was talking about. And he said he just wanted to run, and he doesn't look like he's in shape, but he said a lot of it's mental. You know what I mean? You decide you're going to go and do it, and just go for it. Like
The great thing about it is, when you do it, it just does keep your mind. You're kind of just focused on running. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and especially when you know you're doing it for
a cause.
For a cause.
Yeah.
For a cause, and especially when it's close. I know Pete's going to announce his charity soon as well,
Yeah.
but I'll let him.
People will see it on the.
And when
Facebook
you
page.
presented the check then to Beaumont, was it like an emotional day for you there? Was it like?
It would have been an emotional day, but I was just after doing a gig with Owen Colligan. And I was slightly hungover.
Yeah.
So I was like, let's just get this done.
You were emotional already anyway, in a different state, like, yeah.
Just hang on a second and you just go back.
But no, it was brilliant. It was a brilliant day, and we got nearly 1,500 in after that, even.
Yeah.
You know, which was incredible.
No, it was great. It was a really successful fundraiser. But like we said about when you're doing it for a cause, that is the other thing that I think like when we did our hug, we did a 30-hour hug for charity. Like, there's that element when it's for something like a cause, you're less likely to go, like, say us at 4 a.m. and go, oh fuck this.
There was a part of the time where we were, and then we were like, and we told everybody we were going to be finished at 5 o'clock, so you kind of have to do it. You set it in.
If you say we're going to do you kind of, it pushes you.
I think on my way down as well. I knew it was for my cause, and when I mentioned it to Pete in the beginning, he was like, well, when are we doing it? That's he didn't question it or nothing.
Yeah.
But I knew in the back of my head, I knew that this was my decision to do, and I had to do it one way or another.
This the burden essentially is more on you as well. You know what I mean? It is your.
But on the flip side of that, I was so worried about Pete and my uncle Martin and all the crew that were coming down with us. There was about 8 or 9 of us all the way through.
That's why you only got an hour's sleep tonight before. Because there is so much going on.
And I think that's what kept me going. I couldn't let myself relax, and when I finally got everyone home, or we got everyone home, I was just so happy at that. Coming into Longford, Pete's one of the toughest men I know, physically and mentally. Coming into Longford, and that was about halfway.
I think I know this story. I think I heard.
No,
go on though. no, I wasn't going. I was saying go on.
Pete broke down. Like Pete was ready to go.
Because it is so mentally draining and physically.
There was a crowd of people in Longford waiting to greet us. Actually, my two first cousins, Niamh and Grace Kelly, who play for Mayo Ladies, they had joined us about 10k out. Best luck to them in a couple of weeks against Galway. They had joined us 10 kilometres outside Longford, and they were coming in with us, and the crack was going good. But by the time we'd got into Longford, Pete was just mentally drained, and he just grabbed a hoodie, found a quiet corner in the grass, sat down, pulled the hoodie over him, and actually just started bursting out crying. And it was, in fairness to Ollie, his brother Cassidy, was incredible. Kept with us all the way down as well with his camper van. He went over and he made him right for the next marathon down. So it was incredible.
Well, that's it. But even just for him himself to be able to kind of come through a low like that, and to be you know what, let's push on. You know, that takes some amount.
But I knew coming down that if I was going to finish this, Pete would be with me, and vice versa. That's how close we had got. Even on the train, and I used to go up to Donegal training with him.
And are you talking to each other the whole way as you're going?
Funny,
you probably were ahead of times.
Exactly. I was ahead of times. Pete was ahead of times.
Well, you weren't always side by side, so no.
Oh God, no.
Right.
But I'd say that is one thing, because it is such a massive distance. When you're even nearly at the halfway mark, you're kind of saying there is that mental part of you that goes, oh my God, I have this to do again, and it's you have to push past that.
The way I worked around that was in the training. I'll put it to you this way: in the training we were doing the marathon distances, we were counting up.
Yeah.
Right, so we were at 10k. We've 32k to go, or we're only 10k into 42k.
Yeah.
And then you'd be at 20k. You were only 20k into 42k.
Yeah.
But when you actually have a target of that magnitude, it was, I have 10. Countdown.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Countdown was
You're-
way easier
you're getting
for me.
to the finish, yeah.
And even in the training, you were running up in numbers, whereas when you were actually doing it, we were running down the numbers.
Down. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's it.
Did you enjoy it in the actual running of it? Like, in the moment you did?
In the moment. I loved it.
I think I'd say for you, it was kind of.
I wanted to do
There
it.
had to be apprehension there at this before it because you wanted to go well.
Yeah, of course.
And like you said about the hour sleep,
Yeah.
I can relate to that with the hug that we did. Like I kind of did. It was my.
It was your baby.
Idea.
You came up with it. Yeah.
I remember, like the lad said to me even during the second hug. That we did it twice. Once in 2017, then in 19. But like he even said to me during it, "Man, will you chill out yourself?" Because I was because I knew like we're doing it for charity, but then we'd rules to follow. You know, at the end of it, you
course.
want to like.
But you want everyone else to sort of enjoy. You know,
I didn't care about that.
Well, no, they always say, like, you know, even if someone's hosting a party or something, the person who hosts it never really enjoys it.
Yes, you're right.
It's other people, you're kind of worried, make sure everything goes right. You can never really
Yeah.
sit back and kind of enjoy it yourself
relax,
until the end, really, you know.
Yeah, but it's. I think when you're in the midst of it and it's happening, it's great.
Oh,
and then
it was.
like
And
for
it
us as
was
well,
going so well. I remember coming out of Dublin and I'm buzzing.
Yeah.
And I turned around to Pete and I said, "Jesus," I said, I think we're about 10k in at this stage. I said, if we keep going like this, I said we might even make it down quicker. But by the time we got to the 90k, we were like,
Yeah.
And I must give a mention to Aaron McLaughlin as well. He was our physio for.
He actually joined
incredible.
us
He
as
did.
well.
He was giving us neck rubs and stuff while we were hugging. It was brilliant.
It was fucking great.
Yeah. And my biggest regret of the run was. And my biggest regret of the run was not getting Aaron to give us a rub down on the night of the first night. It was the craziest decision of the whole lot, because on the second night when he done it, we slept like logs. It was unbelievable.
And did you have any like injuries as you were going through? Did like feet killing you or anything?
My 2 inch steps were, by the third day, were literally on fire.
Yeah.
Like they were on fire. Same with Pete. As I said, Martin had to get like ice and bandaged up at 67k. He was gone, and he would have put a lot more mileage over the years than we did. It's just that he didn't do the distance in the one go.
Geez, yeah.
Like, you know, in the days, what were the length of days like in it? Like, was it 7 in the morning till 7 in the evening? Were they 12-hour days?
It was 7 to 10 the first night.
Okay, yeah.
So and it would have been 8. Actually, Brian joined us on the second day.
Brian Cawley.
He did. Yeah. He came all the way to Langford with us, and
did he run?
No, he didn't run. He didn't run. He brought his girlfriend with him, and she's a lovely girl, actually.
Fanny.
Yes, and and they headed off then in Langford, and it was great out crack. So, but the second night we actually got carried into the B&B. We stayed in Tulsk. we got carried in. I remember Ollie Cassidy, Peter's brother, just goes,
fallen soldiers.
Yeah. We were gone, and then that's when Aaron.
You know,
worked his
like
magic.
say just them nights that you were carried in, you were absolutely at your physical and like, was it just in the back of your head tomorrow? Or you just like, I suppose you're probably just thinking of Paige. You're not thinking of, we have to get up and do this again tomorrow.
I would have been.
Yeah.
When you wake up in the morning, like
but I knew the last day was. I knew the last day was the shortest of the 3 days as well, and I knew that we'd been being joined all along the way by the Swinford Athletics Club.
They ran with you, did they?
They ran from Balladreen.
Oh, very good. Okay,
Swinford.
yeah.
I made a decision then that we'd end it in Swinford, that we wouldn't be continuing to Castlebar.
Yeah.
And then when I seen the effort that the town had made to see us home, I knew it was the right decision.
Well, that's your. Like
that's your hometown.
That's Castletown, isn't it?
That was the right.
Yeah, Castletown.
That was the right. Decision to make.
Yeah. So.
Well, I think we probably covered most of the stuff.
We did cover it.
I think that's pretty much it.
No, I could be here all night, but I think we definitely covered the run.
Yeah. So maybe like when we come back closer to your big run next year, we might have another chat again.
Definitely.
Do it. Yeah.
And like, I just want to push the point as well that for people just to get on to 3 books left, because it is actually, when the time does come, it's a wide away yet. I enjoyed myself even just following it along, and like they're good causes.
It was great. It was great to interact with.
And you've a bit of crack anyway before doing those videos you put up and all that.
But
what's going on?
But just
something
even
different every
following
time.
the journey, because it's not every day people do something that's so wide and so daft.
Yeah.
And have you any gigs coming up now or anything at the moment?
We've a couple of gigs coming up in Cork actually.
Yeah.
Cork, and we're hoping we're trying to do a tour from like the middle of September till probably Christmas. So keep an eye out on 3 Bucks Left for the list of shows that we're doing.
It'd be good to see you in Castlebar at some stage.
Do you know what? Mayo is the hardest sell.
Is it really?
I don't know why.
That's hilarious.
Because there's the comedy club. The comedy club above Bridge Street there, and that's all the sold out stuff. Yeah, it's good now, but
we would love to do the comedy club, except for they only do like maybe 20-minute slots or half an hour slots, whereas our show would once it starts, it sort of has to see all the way through. And we could be
it's an experience, is it?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. Plus, as well, there might be a bit of crowd interaction, so it probably wouldn't even be big enough.
Okay,
But we'd love to do it, but we nearly need the whole night.
You need the TF or something.
But historically, even the Hardy Bucks Collective, TF was the hardest sell.
Really? Yeah.
It's hard to make a profit in your own.
Yeah. It's
funny on your back doors.
Yeah, in your back door. They're probably people in Mayo are probably so familiar with us that's like, why would I go to see them?
So you're driving in Swinford, you'll see them on the street.
Something like that. But we'd love to in the future come back again.
Well, Stephen, Cowboy Kelly, thanks a million for talking
to
the
guys.
Rob
It's
Rat
brilliant.
podcast.
Thanks for sharing your story.
It's been good crack, and look, we've definitely enjoyed it. I don't think, hopefully it won't be the last time we talk. But
No, definitely
we'll
not.
schedule
Definitely
something
not.
again
Yeah.
because you've plenty of stories.
Plenty of stories, hey.
Fair play. Well, a real hardy buck who ran from Dublin to Mayo and planning to run down the west side of the country now again. So fair play to you. Thanks a million.
No problem. Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me.
Cheers.
Okay, so that was our interview with Stephen Cowboy Kelly.
Yeah, he's a nice guy.
Really nice guy. Yeah, we probably will catch up with him again after he does his next run, or maybe just before.
We'll
like
definitely keep an eye on it the next time.
And if you want to keep an eye on him as well, you go on to the 3 Bucks Left,
as we said in the interview.
Yeah.
No, but it's good. It's a
difficult task to run from anywhere to run from bloody Dublin to Mayo. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a long width.
Yeah.
To run. Like you are running across the country, like.
Yeah, like I said it to someone, I was chatting to him there, he ran like in 3 days he ran from Dublin to Mayo, and like how much did he have to run?
Yeah.
I wouldn't be able for that.
Very mentally
like what I'd love to do is for his one coming up is to try and get like fit enough to run like 10 or 15k with them. It'd be good to do it, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I'd have to cycle.
That wouldn't be a bad one actually. We could cycle beside them and we wouldn't have to be as fit as them then.
Yeah.
So yeah. Right, there you go. That's sorted. That's what we do, right? That's a lot easier.
Bring the audio.
Yeah, we don't have to. I don't have to start running now. That's brilliant. Yeah, let's go get a bike. Right?
What shall we do? Get one of the bikes with the little seat on the back and the carriage, and we can swap. So one of us cycle.
Or a tandem bike with the two of us on the one.
No. I can't do that. It's embarrassing.
I wouldn't like to see that. Well, anyway, look, that was the interview with Cowboy. I hope you enjoyed it. And
I did.
Yeah, well, it wasn't really you I was asking, but anyway.
I know it was good. And look, they're funny, interesting lads, and the Hardy Bucks was a great show. And
if you're listening to this and you've never heard of the Hardy Bucks,
go on to Netflix.
Check them out. The Hardy Bucks. There's a film there. There's a series there, and then some of their older stuff is on YouTube. It's hilarious. And then some of the characters themselves have gone on to do some of their own projects as well. Like he spoke about Owen Colgan. And then the Viper does his own stuff, and so does Eddie Durkin, Martin Maloney. So there's plenty of them all doing their own stuff, and loads of entertainment for you there.
Yeah, that's great. So look,
is that great? Yeah, that's great. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, cheers. Right, nice one. Yeah,
that's great. No, he's a really nice guy. I love
chatting to him. Anyway, look, that's it for us for today. So we'll see you on the next episode, guys. Cheers.
We'll see you next week.
Bye bye.
You have been listening to the Rob Rat Podcast. Be sure to check out our social media for updates on the next episode. And if you liked what you heard, then let us know by hitting the subscribe button, sending us a message, and telling a friend, because that's how the podcast grows. Thanks for listening.